Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that every decision you've ever made wasn't actually yours. Every success, every regret, every mistake, every achievement? What if they were simply the inevitable result of billions of causes stretching back long before you were born? It sounds impossible, maybe even a little disturbing. But according to neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky, that's exactly how human behavior works. And if he's right, our understanding of justice, morality, success, failure, and even personal responsibility may have to change completely. Because the biggest illusion we experience every single day might be the feeling that we're freely choosing at all. Most of us never stop to question it. Every day, we make hundreds of decisions without thinking twice. What to eat, what to wear, who to spend time with, which career to pursue. Even something as simple as reaching for a cup of coffee instead of tea feels like a completely free decision. After all, it certainly feels like we're the ones making those choices. That feeling is so convincing that we rarely stop to ask a much deeper question. Where did that decision actually come from? Did it begin the moment you became aware of it? Or did it begin much earlier, long before it ever reached your conscious mind? This is where Robert Sapolsky's argument takes an unexpected turn. He says that if you truly want to understand human behavior, you shouldn't start with philosophy. You should start with biology. Because before you consciously experience making a decision, your brain has already been shaped by an entire lifetime of causes. Your genes, your hormones, your childhood, your education, your friendships, your culture, your stress levels, even whether you slept well last night. None of these factors act alone. They constantly interact with one another, quietly influencing the person you become. And according to Sapolsky, the person you become is the person who eventually makes the decision. So perhaps the real question isn't, did I freely choose this? Maybe the better question is, what made me become the kind of person who would make this choice? This is where Sapolsky begins to dismantle one of our deepest assumptions. We like to imagine that our decisions begin inside us. He argues they don't. Long before you're aware of making a choice, your biology has already been shaping the possibilities. Genes influence how your brain is built. Hormones influence how you react. Stress changes what you notice. Sleep changes how clearly you think. Childhood experiences leave lasting fingerprints on the brain. None of these factors ask for your permission. They simply become part of who you are. Then, neuroscience adds another layer. In several famous experiments, researchers observed brain activity appearing before people reported consciously deciding to move. Scientists still debate exactly what these results mean. Sapolsky doesn't claim the debate is over, but he argues they fit a much larger picture. Conscious awareness may not be the starting point of our decisions. It may simply be the moment we notice them. Imagine tracing any decision backwards. Why did you want coffee instead of tea? Why do you enjoy one type of music but not another? Keep asking why long enough, and every answer leads to an earlier cause. Your parents, your friends, your education, your memories, your biology. For Sapolsky, there is no point where an independent chooser suddenly appears. This is why his argument becomes controversial. If every action has a cause, what should society do with people who commit terrible crimes? Sapolsky's answer isn't to ignore harmful behavior. People who are dangerous still need to be stopped. Victims still deserve protection. But punishment motivated by revenge makes less sense if no one ultimately authored themselves. The obvious objection is simple. But I feel like I'm choosing. Of course you do. Everyone does. Sapolsky isn't denying the experience. He's questioning whether that experience accurately explains what's happening inside the brain. Another common fear is that without free will, morality disappears. Sapolsky argues the opposite. Understanding causes can make us more compassionate. We can still reward good behavior. We can still prevent harmful behavior. The difference is that we focus less on blame and more on understanding. Viewed through this lens, success becomes humbling. Failure becomes easier to understand. Luck becomes impossible to ignore. The family you were born into, the opportunities you received, the brain you inherited, none of them were choices. Recognizing that doesn't make effort meaningless. It simply reminds us that effort itself has causes. So, does free will exist? Robert Sapolsky believes the answer is no. Others strongly disagree. The debate continues. But regardless of where you stand, his argument leaves us with one final question. If every decision has a history, how much of the person you call you was ever truly under your control? Perhaps that's the most unsettling idea of all.